the pictures, the videos of how he looks now, physically, the countdown, I think if it's any indication of what type of Izzy is coming back, I think it's an Izzy that's coming back for his style points. And that's what I can't wait to see.
Came to burst your bubble. I don't shelter punches. They find home on your mind about a double. This the weekly scraps. You don't need a map. GPS, I'm right here to lead it. That's right. The world doesn't know it needs, but I grow disease. Planet fuck a name and the fame. Only legacy remains. Remember the name, Aljo Sterling. It ain't motherfuckers.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the weekly scraps, baby. We got UFC Perth right here on the horizon. A few more hours till we get some definitive answers on who is really the king of Africa. Is it Dricus du Plessis or is it Israel Adesanya? We will find out and see really soon in a couple of hours, and then we will get a lot of answers where nobody else can talk any more trash, and then we have some answers for life. But for now, we just sit here and we guess and we speculate which the fights will go, and I don't know. All right, this is terrible. But we got some really fun fights coming up on this card at Perth. I believe this is UFC 305. 305. Why did I think, is this correct, 305? So what am I fighting? 307? I don't know. This is UFC 305. Let's get right into it. Can Israel Adesanya get back into that groove that made him this unbeatable aura? And I think he can. He was gone for about a year, and I think he needed that downtime to decompress and just let out the demons and be a normal human being. Being a professional athlete, it's fun. It's a glamorous life if you're winning. But there's also a lot of pressure that comes with it, and it takes a mental toll on you. And just like work and anything else can take a mental toll on somebody else, doing the same thing over and over and over, never taking a vacation, never taking a break. What do you think happens when you're fighting, getting punched in the head, kicked in the head, beat down in front of the entire world? I believe Israel Adesanya needed some time off to recoup, recalibrate, and want to be back in there, missing the octagon. And I think you can see the gains in the physical changes that he has shown in some of his pitches. And I think this Izzy is going to be a bad mother effer coming out, guns blazing against du Plessis. Now, du Plessis, we got to give him some credit where it's due. The guy is good. He isn't hammer. He's strong as an ox. He's South African, so he's African. A little bit different kind of an African, but all respect and all joking aside, he has some serious skills, some really high-level grappling. And when I say high level, it's not like I'm doing these crazy transitions. He's strong where he's got these nasty chokes that he can get people in. And he has really good control where he takes you down. And if he keeps you there, not if he keeps you there, he's able to keep people there. And I want to say that is the difference. Now, Izzy, we know him for his feints, his footwork, always having that stone face, cold look in his eyes where he's just shaking the front leg, feinting. Now, if he can get back to that and keep the range, not let du Plessis just walk him down, kind of like Sean Strickland did. I think Sean Strickland gave the blueprint how you beat a guy like Izzy. You don't just run into something, kind of like Robert Whittaker did when they fought the first time. But if you march him down, you're probably going to have a little bit more success. You take away his feints. As long as your hands are high, he's going to be throwing stuff. You try to block it as best as you can, but your hands are high, you're covering, and you put him on his back foot, and you make him fight going backwards the entire time. What adjustments that Israel Adesanya has made since then, I don't know. I think that's what the world wants to know. But if the pictures, the videos of how he looks now, physically, the countdown, I think if it's any indication of what type of Izzy is coming back, I think it's an Izzy that's coming back for his style points. And that's what I can't wait to see. I'm pulling for Izzy in this. I ain't pulling no punches on this one. Izzy's my guy. Not my guy in like, oh, we're best friends. But I'm just a big fan of Izzy, no matter what. I know he even like the O'Malley fight, he was saying something's in the air. Like I don't care about that. For me, this is separate. I just like Izzy as an athlete. He's fun to watch, and for me, I think seeing his IQ out there has always given me some ideas and approaches how to look at my training situations and things like that. So, with that said, I'm leaning towards Izzy. I can see Izzy getting the finish in the fourth round, so I'm calling it now. Fourth round. I still think the jury is out on the conditioning of Duplessis for some reason. I know he showed it in the Sean Strickland fight to go against a guy like that. He looked really good to get takedowns and whatnot. Um, Now, can Duplessis take down Izzy the way he took down Sean Strickland? Possibly, if I'm being honest, possibly. Now, I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can. If Izzy can keep his feet moving, it's going to be really hard to take down a guy who's in perpetual motion versus someone whose feet are planted like Strickland and walking you down. It's going to be a little bit easier to get to that target, change direction, cut angles when you do get an entry on the leg. And I think that's going to be the difference where Izzy's using feints, setting up traps, cutting angles, pivoting, switching his stance. That's going to open up so many different attacks and so many different things for Dricus, for him to look for when setting up his attacks and not taking damage or getting caught cleanly coming in looking for the leg. So for me, I'm interested to see the headspace that Izzy is in. He's made all his money already. The guy is a boss. He's a king already. He doesn't need to fight anymore. But to me, it's like one of those things as an athlete, as a competitor, you want to see if you still got it. Can you get back to the top of the mountain? Look at Conor McGregor. Constantly in, constantly out. But you know he wants to deep down inside get back in there. And the same thing, Izzy. You know he wants to get out there and show and see if he still has what it takes to climb the top of that mountain and become champ again. And I like that Dana's being fair here, where the winner of this is fighting Sean Strickland, because I think he was due for a rematch against Dricus because it was that damn close. And honestly, a lot of people, even myself, I had it for Strickland. But that's another conversation for another day. All in all, there's some really good fights on this. Kai Kara-France taking on Steve Seg. I hope I said that name right. Mateus Gamrot taking on Dan Hooker. These are two of my favorite lightweights out there. I like both of these guys so much, especially Mateus. I want to post a video of us grappling at in Abu Dhabi at the hotel where we got kicked out. You can't see like too much of the grappling, but you can see us kind of tussling around, and security comes, they kick us out. And we had to get like some of the UFC personnel to try to smooth things over. But yeah, that was a fun, interesting time. He was a fun time, him and his people. So we had a great time with that. Tai Tuivasa taking on Jairzinho Rosenstruck. Tuivasa's the man. I met Rosenstruck a couple of times, nothing, but I've hung out with Tuivasa, really cool dude. This one I'm looking forward to. Jing Liang Lee taking on Carlos Pratt. That should be a fun one. Tafa is always a heavy hitter, fun fight to watch. Caliba versus Ricardo Ramos. Casey O'Neill versus Luana Santos. Some really good fights. Herbert Burns versus Jack Jenkins. Tom Nolan versus Alex Reyes should be a very electric one. Can this be a coming out party for Tom Nolan to get some highlights? Or will Alex Reyes turn back the clock and show that he can still compete even at his age? I don't know if you guys know his story. At 37 years old, he's on 2-fight losing skid. He was gone for like almost 5 years because he had like a spinal injury where it got an infection. I don't know all the details. He was telling me the story, so I don't want to botch it because I'm not remembering everything. But I know he had an infection in the spine, and it was like paralyzing him. And he was able to somehow get it taken care of, and inshallah, he was able to get healthy again. And it's nice to see him back competing. This is Dominic Reyes' older brother. So check him out, guys. Ricky Glenn, I haven't seen this guy in a while. He's at lightweight taking on Kanong Sang. So some fun fights on this card. And then we have PFL, Impa Kasanganay, who got cut from the UFC from that spinning back kick from Joaquin Buckley and went to PFL, won the $1 million tournament, and became a millionaire, changed his life, which seemed like it was overnight. Taking on Josh Silveira. That should be a fun one. Brett Primus versus Clay Collard. Clay Collard, Mr. Ali, always coming forward, nonstop action. Biagio Ali Walsh, 1-0, looking to take on Brian Stapleton, who's 0-0. Danny Sabatello taking on an 8-0 prospect, Lazaro Dayron. And Mads Burnell from Extreme Couture, 19-6 at lightweight, taking on Elvin Espinoza. Who else we got? Jordan Oliver. He's 1-0. And he's taking on Braden Akeo. Something like that. So that's a pretty solid card all in all. PFL and Bellator, they're trying to do their thing, and I can appreciate that. With that said, next weekend we got Dennis Bazookia taking on Danny Silva. Should be a fun, action-packed fight. Hopefully, Dennis is having more of the action, or should I say, dishing out the action than receiving. That's always the game plan, at least for me. But we'll see how the fight goes. I think Dennis is in a great headspace, so I'm very excited to see how my boy goes out there and what he brings to the table after a few months of being able to prepare and just change the mindset and add more tools to the toolbox. Dennis Bazookia, the Bazooka, the Great, aka the Late, always late. We'll see how he does. We got training later today, some treadmill sprints, so we're gonna go get it in. With that said, guys, Funk Harbor Rum is out right now. FunkHarborRum.shop. Check it out. If you get 2 bottles, there's no shipping fees. We pay for it. So why not? Spread the love. Thank you guys for supporting. And I'll see you guys next time. This is a short podcast. I didn't want to get into too crazy of a detail talking about every single fight. But I hope you guys enjoyed the main event breakdown. And until next time, don't forget to hit the like button. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.